So number one is always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. Well, that sounds like a duh, doesn't it? Duh. Okay, but you'd be surprised how many times we might find somebody doing something like this. This is a training firearm. Doesn't fire, never fire, it's just a piece of plastic. So I have had people come up to me and go, is it my turn to shoot? Okay, so we want to watch where that muzzle's at. We don't want to be pointing this at anything that we do not want to destroy. So keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger to ready to shoot. So it's normal for us to want to place our finger on the trigger. Why is that? Anybody have an idea why it's so normal for us to want to place our finger on that trigger?
Naturally holes there.
Right. So, and the guns are made for that, right? They're ergonomically built so that when you place your hand on there, you can put your finger right there. Why is it not a good idea to develop that habit of having our finger on the trigger all the time? What do you think?
Misfire.
A misfire? How about trip and falling? Firing something, shooting something you don't want to shoot. That's important. We'll go over that a little bit more. Always keep the gun unloaded until ready to shoot or to use. So if you're going to carry a firearm for personal defense, whether it be on your person or in a purse or a fanny pack or something like that, your firearm should be fully, completely loaded up. Not missing one in the chamber. You should have a round in there with a full magazine. So in the event that something happens, you don't have to worry about having to charge the firearm. It takes too long to do that. So we want to get on our trigger. We want to get our front sights lined up right, rear sight, touch press. Okay, so we don't want to have to go, did I charge it? I don't know. In the meantime, the zombie's approaching you rapidly. Okay?
I thought it was illegal to be chambered and carried.
No.
No.
No, it is not. Always know your target and what is beyond. So what does that mean? Always know your target. What do you think that refers to? What are they talking about here? Why is that important?
So you don't shoot somebody behind the target?
There we go. Good idea. How about identifying the target to start with, making sure that we know that it's actually a threat. If there's somebody or a noise in your bathroom and the door's shut and you live alone and nobody's supposed to be in the house but you, and there's all kinds of racket in your bathroom, are you going to shoot through the door?
Not a good idea.
How come?
Might be somebody there you know.
That's correct. So you want to identify your target. Basically, you want to eyeball that thing, that threat, whatever it be, an animal or a human. You want to identify that as the threat. So you don't want to have collateral damage. We want to focus just on that threat. Now we also want to know what's in front and moving around. Maybe you have children moving around on bicycles. There's a zombie threat, but the kids are in the way. So you might have to change your angle. You may have to do something to avoid shooting those kids. How about behind him, behind that target? So it's great to have a barricade. I don't carry barricades with me everywhere I go, or berms, those kinds of things that they say. You should look, make sure you have a proper berm. Well, it's hard to have a berm when you're at the Gallatin Mall, or in Walmart, or in Costco, where you're not supposed to carry anyway. Because, so we want to make sure the gun's pointed in a safe direction. When we're shooting today, and prior to going out to shoot, we're going to teach you something very simple that makes it safe for you and safe for us. You're going to present the firearm and recover. So we'll have a target out there, we have a large berm out there, we're going to present and recover. Too often people will go, boom, boom. Well, that really sucked. And then the barrel's going muzzle's going everywhere, and everybody's like, oh, okay. Or the boom, boom. Well, that was kind of, I don't really like that, okay. Or boom, boom. Did you see what I did? Okay, that kind of thing. So our muzzle's going to be pointed toward the berm and our target. Present, bang, 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 whatever you're doing, finger comes off the trigger, you're gonna recover it, okay? We also see people go, oh, this. So if you don't like your feet, you can shoot your feet at home. I don't want my feet shot, because I will shoot back. So, we wanna watch where that muzzle's at all the time. You'll be surprised at things that people do, like drawing a firearm. People will draw a firearm and do these long, goofy things. It's like, wow. So it's just out, back, present, recover, present, recover. Okay. If you have a malfunction, take your finger off the trigger, have the firearm pointed toward the berm, raise your hand, we'll come up and we'll take a look. and we'll fix it for you, or talk about it and make it right.
Okay.
So one of the reasons we don't want to have our finger on the trigger is that there's something called a sympathetic reaction. If you're right-handed or left-handed, it matters not. Let's just say you're home and somebody kicks in your door. You live in the middle of nowhere, you live in Bozeman proper. Somebody kicks in your door in the middle of the night. You grab your firearm. You're used to placing your finger on the trigger because it's quicker, and I hear people say, well, I'm gonna get my finger on the trigger so I can get the drop on him. And like, that's not that good of a reason to do that, because if you were to go and grab your car keys, grab a door, grab a dog leash, grab your grandkid, and you've got your finger on the trigger, when your left hand does one thing, your right hand may mimic it. Boom. And you'll shoot something you don't want to shoot. Or if you have your finger on the trigger and you're not grabbing any of those things, and you trip and fall in the house because you're nervous, it's dark, you stub your toe, and it hurts. God, I hate that. And boom, you can fire. So we keep our finger on the side of the slide. It only takes a microsecond to go down there and catch that trigger. Okay. But once this bullet leaves, there's no bringing it back.